Greetings, Internet friends, and welcome to the very first episode of the Caffeinated Crime Show. I like coffee, and I listen to a lot of true crime. I've been a fan of crime and cult podcasts for several years. It started when I listened to Stephanie Sue's podcast, Rotten Mango, and also fell down a rabbit hole of the most well-known serial killers in U.S. history, including Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez, and two others that the Serial Killer podcast did. They also have a lot of other serial killers they cover. As I dove into Rotten Mango and serial killers, I learned a lot of really horrifying things, but I also learned a lot of interesting things, I guess. One of the things I've learned is that not even my little rural area of northwest Minnesota is safe from the dangers of crime and murder. Go figure. That brings us to the case that I'm covering today, which is my first ever video about a true crime event that has happened. Today's crime starts in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, which is a small city. Our crime ends in the African nation of Angola. Detroit Lakes is a small city located along Highway 59 and Highway 10. It's about 45 miles west of Moorhead, Minnesota, if you've heard of that city. Detroit Lakes is a really big lake community. It is surrounded by Lake Erie of Minnesota. And of course, if you know anything about Minnesota, you know that we have lakes everywhere. We are lousy with lakes here. They have a lot of restaurants in Detroit Lakes. A lot of them have outdoor seating for people who come during the summer. They have a lot of resorts around the area, and there are a lot of people who spend time vacationing in Detroit Lakes because it is such a good area. And as far as smaller cities go, it's relatively safe. We have a lot of people who vacation there from all over Minnesota and commonly even from North Dakota and Wisconsin, since they border our state. The Detroit Lakes area is also home to the Lakes Area Vineyard Church. This church is the home to Jackie and Beau Shroyer and their children, who I will be using initials for if I talk about them because their children are still minors. Jackie and Beau are or were currently serving a missionary trip to Angola, or at least that was the plan. They arrived for their mission and things just went downhill from there. But let's start first by sharing a little information about Beau. Beau was a 44-year-old man, born April 29th, 1980, so just a year older than me. In Coon Rapids, Minnesota. He was raised by his parents in Gray Eagle, which is in central Minnesota. He has sisters Marina, Samantha, and Emily. His family were Christians, which I'm going to be honest, that's very common in Minnesota. You meet a lot of people who are Christian. According to his obituary, Beau loved God and made his beliefs a priority in his life, even as a kid and teenager. I'm guessing he probably had a pretty standard Minnesota life. He probably liked to do sports, church events, summer lake activities. If he lived in central Minnesota, he probably went to a lot of lake events in the summer. Beau was described as being very funny and having a good sense of humor. It was said that he liked to make people laugh. On May 6th, 2005, Beau married his girlfriend, Jacqueline Hawkinson, Jackie. They went on to have 5 daughters, B, A, O, E, and I. And as I said, they are still minors, so I won't mention them unless necessary, and I'll only use their initials. The family attended church, as that was an important thing for them. Beau worked as a school safety officer for many years. School safety officers are the people who, if you're not from the U.S. and you're not familiar with that, they're the people who will go in uniform into a school. They're a police officer that goes to the school and, supposedly keeps people safe, theoretically. Prior to that, he worked... sorry, I got a little distracted. He was described by the kids and coworkers as Officer Nice Guy. Like, everybody loved him. They loved him. In addition to that, Beau also received a degree in biology from St. Cloud State University. St. Cloud State is in southwest Minnesota, slightly north, or southeast Minnesota, my apologies, slightly north of the Twin Cities area. Beau also had an opportunity to apply for a position as a conservation officer, but he did not get that job. Beau and his oldest daughter, Bee, decided to go on a mission trip to Angola, the country where the rest of this story takes place. After that trip, Beau realized he wanted to become a missionary and do this type of work regularly. He cared about spreading his beliefs to other people. He was described as always being a type of person who cared and loved other people and wanted to do whatever he could to help others. He was a helper. In fact, Jackie and Beau even posted a video called Why I Believe in Jesus. Beau and Jackie Shroyer. I will leave a link to that video in my comments so that you can watch it if you're interested. In the video, Jackie made the comment, "We were like, we'll do it. We'll do it, God. We don't care what it costs. We need to make you known." So they obviously both very much cared about teaching people their beliefs. They genuinely believed that by moving to Angola and teaching people about their religion, that they were doing the right thing. So, in 2021, after the easement of some of the COVID restrictions, Beau and Jackie and their kids left Minnesota for Angola, a country located in the central east coast of Africa, next to Namibia, the Democratic of Congo, and Zambia. They lived there and did missionary work while there. But while living there, Jackie started having an affair with a man who worked as their security guard, a 24-year-old man named Bernardino Elias. This lasted for a few years prior to her husband's death. And I've never been married, so I personally cannot fathom what goes through a person's head when they start having an affair. And I really can't empathize with how somebody would decide to hire a murderer to take care of their spouse. But a plan for hire is what occurred. After 3 years together, Jackie hired her boyfriend, Bernardino, to unalive her husband. Bernardino, along with 2 other men named Isolino Cayu, 23, and Gelson Ramos, 22, fatally stabbed Beau Shroyer. I don't know how long he was deceased before they found him. However, on October 25th, 2024, they did find Beau in a thicket in the Palanca commune. He was in his vehicle, and the Palanca commune is on the outskirts of the municipality of Humpta in the Angolan province of Huila. And I do not speak any African languages, so I hope that I'm pronouncing the names of these cities correctly, or as close as I can. Jackie, Bernardino, and Isolino were arrested in connection with Beau's murder. However, Gelson Ramos, the third man involved in the murder, immediately went on the run. As far as I'm aware, he has yet to be apprehended by Angolan law enforcement. The same article stated that, as an American accused of a serious crime in Angola, Jackie will be subject to Angola law and procedures. In Angola, the justice system operates under Portuguese civil law, a framework that places a strong emphasis on judicial rather than jury decisions. This means that instead of a jury trial, Jackie's case will likely be heard by a panel of judges who will assess the evidence and decide her fate. Angola's legal system also typically includes extended pre-trial detention, meaning Jackie could face a long wait before her trial officially begins. If convicted, Jackie could face severe consequences. Although Angola abolished the death penalty in 1992, hooray, the country's laws allow for life imprisonment imprisonment in cases of serious crimes, such as murder. Her role as the alleged mastermind in a high-profile murder for plot hire only adds to the gravity of the situation. She has the right to request consular assistance from the U.S. Embassy, though the embassy's role is limited to ensuring fair treatment and cannot influence the judicial outcome. I will post a link for the article in my description for anybody who would like to read it. At this time, Beau and Jackie's children are being cared for by SIM, the missionary organization that they were part of, as well as people from their Detroit Lakes area church. So, that's the case of Jackie and Beau and what I know so far. If I learn anything else about this case, I will update you. I'm not sure when they'll find the third man who was responsible for helping murder Beau, but I am grateful that their children are being cared for, and I'm sure they feel very heartbroken about what's going on, losing their dad in such a tragic and hard way. Thank you for tuning in to my very first crime show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any ideas about developing cases that I cover or cases that you would like me to cover, you can clink the survey in my description and tell me about any information you might have on developing cases, or drop a comment about a case that I should follow. In my next show, I want to give you a heads up. I will be covering the kidnapping and torture of Sam Nordquist. I want to give you a preliminary warning that Sam was a trans man. He was targeted and killed due to him being trans. And for me as a non-binary human and a person who really cares deeply about NB and trans people and the other parts of the LGBTQ community, I'll cover the case with as much sensitivity as I can. However, if you feel like when that video comes out that you cannot watch it, I completely understand, because the torture of trans people is a very sensitive topic. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on my next video.